Hey everyone, and welcome back to On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk about everything you and your friends are talking about at rehearsal on a water break. This week we're connecting with amazing African American organizations that are out here doing the work for our people in the marching arts community. We'll find out what made Ricardo say,
"Why are you smiling?" And I said, "I just really love being here."
And why Jarid said,
"Toast look better with jam and jelly. You put something on there, people are like, oh, that's cute."
All this and more in this week's episode of On a Water Break.
8 off the mat and go. Welcome to On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk everything marching arts. Everyone, bring it in. It's time for a water break.
Hello, everyone. It's Nicole, and we are so excited to be here doing a month-long series of episodes about Black History Month. This week, we have some organizations and their initiatives that are out there helping our people in this activity. We have so much planned for this month, and we can't wait to get started to share it all with you. I just finished an interview with Madeline, who's one of the newest DMs at Blue Devils, and we have a whole performer episode that's coming up next week, so you don't want to miss that either. All right, before we start, let's see who's on the sidelines this week. But before we actually do that, I want you to go and subscribe, hit the notifications on your favorite listening app, write us a review, and leave us a share. And share it with a friend. Got a question or a good topic to talk about? Email us onawaterbreakpodcast@gmail.com or find us on social media and DM us if you have anything or if you even want to just be on the show. We even have a form now that you can fill out if you want to be a guest. We love having people on the podcast, so check it out. Our link is on the bio. All right, so now we can actually go see who's on the sidelines. Let's see. Ricardo, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you, Auntie Nicole?
Auntie Nicole's doing good. I listened to last week's episode. How was that doing that? That looked like a lot of fun.
Oh my goodness. Let me tell you, it was family chat, like all of those people that like I lean on. And it was just like us sitting around and having a normal phone conversation that would happen. There were just more people, which also excites me about our guests today because they are also people that I sit and have phone chats with. So it's going to be another family talk night.
You know what? Me and you both. We don't really get to do episodes together that much anymore, Ricardo.
No, Jeremy tries to separate us. We both can't be on the same episodes. Except for this month when we have all the episodes together.
Great. Yeah. You had a great start to Black History Month. We're going to keep that going with today's episode too. So joining us today is Errick Prince and Jarid Polite. Hello, guys. How are you?
Hey, doing great.
Hello.
Hey, thank you so much for coming and spending some time with us and talking and chatting and just having a good time. I will tell you that the first thing that we do here on a Water Break is have you do your 32 count life story. So, okay, we're practicing already. So, Jarid, since you made the noise, what we're going to do is give you 8 counts on the Met and then you're in. Are you ready?
I'm as ready as I'll be whenever I do this podcast. It's always, what am I going to say? Let's go with it.
All right, here we go. 8 counts and you're in.
My name is Jarid, and I'm the best. I'm just kidding. So my name is Jarid Polite. I am the artistic director and founder of Melanin Mosaic Performance Ensemble, formed in 2023. I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, and Queens, New York. Started my marching arts career then. Started junior drum corps, horn player, drum major, march jersey surf. Became a color guard person, and now I do color guard as much as I can for my own organization, which is supporting the African diaspora and BIPOC communities outside the competitive world of competitive marching arts. Ooh, look at that yes.
Timing is everything.
Precision.
She wasn't ready. I wasn't ready.
On the yes.
Very nice. Okay. All right. Brother Errick.
No pressure. Jeez, that's a hard one to follow.
All right. You know what a Met sound like.
Yeah. Next rep. Repeat.
Run it back.
No pressure,
all right, here
bro.
we go.
All right. Okay, no rhyme and rhythm from me. Errick Prince, originally from Georgia. Drum corps background, Spirit of Atlanta, and then Bluecoats. taught Blue Coats, taught Spirit of Atlanta cadets when it was Cadets Bergen County. Came back and taught Blue Coats again, Santa Clara Vanguard as well, brass staff, and now I'm assistant brass caption head for the Blue Devils as well. Having a great time, and also started the Our Marching Counts initiative, and spent some time in the Air Force as a professional musician there as a military member as well.
Nice.
Last note had to hang over just a bit, but that's okay.
That's a lead trumpet player.
So true. So true. Okay. All right. So now that we've all introduced ourselves, let's go ahead and jump into the news. All right. So it looks like this first one's going to be with Ricardo. What you got for us, Ricardo?
Well, I have to say that the New Yorker magazine has written a fantastic article about the Bourbon County, Kentucky High School Marching Band. This article literally it gives me an essence of Michael Boo, if Michael Boo was still with us, how he wrote an article and, would just make our world of pageantry seem like pick up all the nuance that we would want the outside world to get to know our world. But you can go and check out this article. I'm not going to read it to you guys because it's a lot. And it's a lot of poetic mannerisms, if you will, describing the Bourbon County Marching Band. But it is a fantastic article talking about their season and their preparation, getting ready for the BOA championships this year. So it's good. It's really good.
So, yeah. Bourbon County has always been, and I will tell you that I actually worked with them for 2 years. Bourbon County has always been that mighty little, like the mighty little toaster that could, because they're small, but like their shows are so impactful. And for a moment there, and I don't know if they still do it, but they used to do this double tonguing block in their show, every show with the trumpets. I know, a high school. That's that small.
Wow.
So it was almost like how Warren Central does the double time. Yeah. That is their version. That was their version of that. And they're always entertaining. So good for them in the New Yorker. I love that. I'll have to check that out. Errick, what are you talking about today?
Oh, topic-wise, I had my magic list for the news to talk about the African American Alumni Drum Corps initiative. I have the privilege of talking about the Southern University Human Jukebox. Had some time to spend with them this summer, work with them during their high school leadership, and then it's been their year. From the Honda Battle of the Bands for the first time in SoFi Stadium, doing an amazing job there, and then connecting with a ton of students there at LA Unified School District as well. And then, lo and behold, they come from California and they go back home to Louisiana, and they're there at the Super Bowl. I mean, what more could you ask for? A parade packed full. Just so amazed with the work that Dr. Kedrick Taylor has done and Professor William Young as well, putting those musicians out there. And I also want to highlight about the Human Juke. For the first time, the Southern University Wind Ensemble got to perform at the Louisiana Music Educator Association Conference on stage doing concert literature as well. So nothing but props for the Human Jukebox, and the Dancing Dolls were amazing as well. Great for the culture, amazing worldwide recognition, and just I got to give kudos to those students. They just put the battery packs on and they keep going, and they're amazing ambassadors for the culture and for music and marching arts overall. Kudos to them.
No kidding. Can you imagine what it's like to be a graduating senior right now?
It doesn't get any better for them.
That bar
is so high.
Yeah, it's like, well, it's like, what can I do? Anything you want. Oh, that's so good. I watched, so I'm not going to lie. Football to me is like sports ball. Okay. I watch it for the concert that comes right into the middle. And so, yes, I have been singing They Not Like Us all day. So.
And if I also may add, they also did, I think, Shannon Sharp and Chad Okocho-Cinco, they have a podcast as well, and they performed that, and they donated $50,000 to
Oh,
Southern
wow.
University marching band as well for performing for that. So just again, can't find enough superlatives, enough kudos for them. So amazing job.
Didn't they do J HUD show as well? Weren't they on Jennifer Hudson's
Jennifer
show?
Hudson?
They did. That's correct.
Yeah, I saw a
Worldwide
clip of
tour.
that because the dancing dolls were working it out, honey, and then J HUD tried to give her little 8 counts. I said, "All right, J HUD, you better try to get it,
you
girl."
gotta try.
Sometimes 8 counts is all we can give.
Okay,
Okay.
I know that's right.
Jared, what you got?
Today, I saw a New York Post article about a drum corps, a Long Island drum corps comprised of adults with disabilities, has given nearly 50 members the experience of a lifetime playing at venues from Disney World to Lincoln Center, Manhattan, and a pro football stadium in Annapolis. So to the free players. And it's so important to me to talk about this because I often think that not enough of this community is highlighted or showcased in our world. And I think that the free players from Long Island is a great indication of the way that people are representing and showing diversity in the marching arts. So I'm wholeheartedly 1,000% cheers, kudos to everyone involved with the free players drum bugle corps from Long Island.
Very nice, very nice. All right, so the article I'm going to share, and I'm not going to share it because I feel like WGI did such a good job. I'm just going to go ahead and read it. And it's about 3 decades of adjudication for Rich Rock Kemp. So it does say that WGI mourns the passing of Rich Rock Kemp. The marching arts community is deeply saddened by the passing of Richard Rock Kemp, a dedicated judge, mentor, leader who made a lasting impact on the activity. Rock was a respected adjudicator for WGI for 3 decades, shaping the competitive experience for countless performers, instructors with his passion and expertise. A longtime resident of Evergreen Park, Illinois, Rock was more than a judge. He was a leader and an advocate for the activity. He served as judge administrator for the Midwest Color Guard circuit, helping to guide and develop the adjudication community. His influence extends beyond WGI as he held leadership roles with both BCI and WGI. Throughout his career, he also judged for multiple organizations across the community, bringing his knowledge, humor, and enthusiasm to a wide range of ensembles and competitions. His wit and humor made him an unforgettable presence in the judging community. Those of us who had the privilege of working alongside him can all recall a memory of Rock that brings a smile or a laugh. A testament to the camaraderie he fostered among his colleagues, we extend our heartfelt condolences to his fans, family, friends, and I can say fans as well, and all that were fortunate enough to know him. As close as I ever got to Mr. Kemp was a handshake, but he is one of those people that that can walk into a room and that knows everyone. So I'm pretty sure that his legacy will live on, and I'm fortunate enough to know who he was. Okay, so we've got to go ahead and get back on the floor so we can rep the last section, and then we'll be back with more on a water break.
Celebrating its 25th anniversary, Guard Closet was founded as a consignment shop in 2000. Since then, it has grown to become your one-stop shop for the marching arts.
Do you need consignment uniforms and flags for your color guard, marching band, or drumline? We have thousands of sets of consignments in stock and ready to ship.
Do you need show design and custom choreography? Our designers have years of experience in the marching arts.
Do you need to sell your items and clear out your storage areas? We take in more than 600 sets of consignments each year and return hundreds of thousands of dollars to our consigners for their sales.
Do you need to have your students order shoes, gloves, and other equipment? We can set up a microsite for easy student ordering of a wide variety of items.
Do you need custom costumes or flags? We can help get you great designs from our team through top vendors like Show Day Designs.
Have you listened to our podcast, On a Water Break? Weekly episodes and bonus content keep you entertained and informed with what's going on in the marching arts.
For over 25 years, Guard Closet has been here to help. Check us out at guardcloset.com or follow us on social media.
And we're back. So everyone go ahead and put your equipment down. We're just going to get into the meat and bones of why we're doing what we're doing this on the floor for. And also with everyone else who's on the podcast with me, since everyone here in the best way is doing the most, let's get into it and talk about it and talk about the organizations and how other people can get involved. So since we are all pretty much, it's almost like a web that we weave and we're all here and in here together. So let's go with Jarid first. Can you tell us more about Melanin Mosaic and how that became a thing and what it does?
Melanin Mosaic came about, honestly, 15, 20 years ago when I first saw Blast on Broadway and on video. And I realized that while there was, because I had just started marching 95, 94, 95, and I just, Blast had come out around 99, such and such on PBS and all that kind of stuff. So it was all brand new. This whole activity was brand new to me. I didn't know that people were making a living down the street from me, basically on Broadway, doing this thing that I was doing under a bridge at 15, 16 years old. So it was really life altering to see marching arts professionally done. But unfortunately, I didn't see a lot of people like me or us on the stage, and that bothered me. So fast forward now, 2023, I always say one day I woke up and the ancestors said, now it's time. And I said, okay. And I jumped on Miss ChatGPT and we created a name and some words and poof, there it is. It was born. But it really does exist to create opportunities for people of color and BIPOC communities so that we are making sure our stories are being told our own way without the need or restrictions of scores or judges' tapes or anything like that, because there's not a lot of freedom in the marching arts. It's very much go by these rules or else. And I don't want the marching arts to totally be about that for the rest of the marching arts career, no matter how long that is. Because right now it's people paying $6,000 to march.
You're right.
But those same people could be getting $6,000 to perform on a stage. So we have to look at the landscape of the marching arts and say, where are there places we can create avenues of interest, just like a dance company does, just like a ensemble that does brass or whatever else does, but for people who look and sound and speak and have relationships and identities and experiences that are, common, to really bring something else to the activity in a way that it hasn't been. There is Blast and there is, some of these theme parks and things of that nature. I just saw Disney is hiring their Black Horror for next Halloween. That's great. But there's so many more opportunities out there if we just take them and run with them. And so Melanin Mosaic is a part of a lot of hats running around. We do a lot of mental health work. We're doing creating the legendary Mosaic Sound, which are a small ensemble that resembles more of a future core from Disneyland, that kind of identity.
Is that the sound sport?
That's like the sound sport, but we're participating in sound sport, but we're not a sound sport team. We're just performers who sound sport happens to be a great venue for us to perform in. We will use that venue and then move on to the next thing or come back and have a good time. Stage production and tours are our goal with that. Then we have our youth and mental health, like I said, initiatives. We're working on creating a program called the March Forward Wellness, which brings a collective of people in the marching arts together to create an identity that mental health is important in the marching arts, and we don't talk about it nearly enough. And sometimes it starts with the leadership and not the students, because we are all been abused in some way, shape, or form by the marching arts, especially when you're young and people talk to you all kinds of ways and it's just accepted, especially like 90s. What? A drumstick being thrown at your head or a shoe or a chair. It's like, okay, next set. We're moving on. Got it.
All the above at one time.
All the above. So we need to just reset our mental state when it comes to all these things, especially when you come to thoughts of the incident that happened last couple of weeks ago in Texas, where a person who might have been mentally ill, I don't know the diagnosis, came up in a drumline competition and started doing some wild stuff. And unfortunately, someone got wounded. And that leaves scars that we don't even think about. We think about, all right, that was this weekend, next weekend, another show. Let's go back. Instead of saying, hold up, is everyone okay? This happened in our safe space. How are we really addressing this kind of situation as an ensemble, not just more security in a building? Great. That doesn't follow me home when I go to a store now, when I go to school, when I go to another drum corps competition, when I'm walking down the street and I'm thinking it could happen any place, anytime, anywhere. How are we addressing those kind of situations? And we're trying to bring something to the marching arts organization that really addresses mental health and wellness for everybody in our community.
Yep. Very good. Where are some places that you have, well, I mean, I've seen Melanin Mosaic. You had which I shared a bunch, the Christmas video that you had. And so, yeah, who did you have in, who did you collaborate with for that Christmas video?
So because we are a global collective, I have the freedom to work with groups from all across the country and around the world even. We just actually donated a set of flags through our partnership at Style Plus to Imperium Winter Guard in Puerto Rico so that they have a set of flags because they'd have no flags and no poles. So we're providing a set of flags and poles for them. Encouraging our partnership with Style Plus. Because I am just a free bird, I'm not attached to a location. I reached out to some people. I was going down to Florida for some business. This is just the day before election day. Today, like, ooh, that was cute. I went down to Miami. I connected with some people, Relentless Winter Guard, Michelle Morales, who is a beautiful videographer and photographer in their own right, what they do on their own business, and Carlos Herrera and the team down at Relentless. And we had 2 weeks. It's like, hey, I have this idea. I'll be down there in 2 weeks. They mobilized the troops, rally up, and created a beautiful piece of work. So yeah, it was really fun to go down Miami and spin in the wind. It was so windy. It was so windy.
Y'all did make it look cute, so we'll make sure we put a clip or something in here so that we can show people what you were doing.
That'd be excellent.
Awesome. All right. So let me move this even more over to Brother Errick. Hello.
Hi.
Tell us more about your initiative, or I should say our initiative, but you go right ahead.
I was going to say, man, let's fix this rotation because it's hard to follow Jarid, man, bro. I mean,
we'll switch it up. Yeah,
it's supposed to go top 12 to 1, not 1 to 75, which is where I feel. But anyway, I'll do a mashup here. But the primary thing is out of the Our Marching Counts initiative, and this was started out around COVID time. And I want to be clear as I explain this. When we celebrate ourselves, we're not diminishing anybody else. We're just highlighting what we do and celebrating our wins. And there is nothing wrong with that. And it's kind of I'm a country boy. It's like the hit dog holler. If you take it personal, I don't understand why. And this is not to be preachy, but I'm just kind of like, out of everything that we do, nobody has ever come up and found any data that says we're inaccurate or we're spreading false information. Now, I'll continue on. So the OMC Our Marching Counts is a double entendre, double meaning in it, which basically is our marching does count from the standpoint of contributions of folks that identify with the African diaspora. And it also means that so many of us have been the one or the two in a drum corps. And as we find our tribe united, we found out there are hundreds of us. So we are getting our counts together and organizing and literally celebrating our wins for what we do. So that's one big one that came out of that. And it's been very well organized from the standpoint of recognizing our pioneers as well. The James Elvoys and the Jim Primes and Frank Williams and, Ralph Hardimans and all those folks.
Alfred Watkins,
of course. He's still with us. Wayne Harris, he's still out there to fight, but Wayne is a pioneer for us as well. So all those folks who literally were trailblazers for us and create a path when there was not one. So with that being said, I want to transition over with Our Marching Counts into what I take a lot of pride in, which is our stats division. That falls mostly for our high school members for marching contest wise. and it falls under the Blue Devil Performing Arts U.S. Bands portion. This was started when it was brought to me, and it was started from the standpoint of, hey, Errick, what's something going on that is missing or that is not being recognized or awarded in the marching arts? And I said, well, for the bands that do traditional marching style / show style, and they're hybrid, there's not really a contest rubric that gets them adjudicated. So we created this entire format, and what STAT stands for is Standards and Technical Assessments for Traditional and Show Style Bands. Now, the situation is that when people see stats, they think it's only for bands that do that. No, that's one of the things I love. Nicole, Ricardo, you already know. The adjudicators, evaluators, and judges under this, we can judge everything. Doesn't matter if it's military style, if it's core style, if it's traditional. If you put on a doggone field, we can evaluate it. And that's one of our high talents, is to put out so that those band directors do not have that nomenclature of, we're going to a contest, therefore our kids are not going to be recognized. So that's where it came from. But it's also got a ton of recognition from other places. And Nicole, Ricardo, I have to give you credit. We started out a few years ago, but the big transition happened. We went to Louisiana, to the Shreveport Bossier City contest.
Oh, that was so much fun.
That was one of those faith initiatives where I asked the hires to say, hey, let me put the panel together and let us go to Louisiana. And I promise it's going to be great. And it just so happened, that it was all African-American judges. I think there were 9 of us that went, 8 judges and myself as a contest coordinator. And there were 26 core style bands that were there. No traditional, no show style. So when we jumped out of those cars, everybody looked at us like, yeah, we're here for a purpose. But I want to say that was one of the wins, because it went from having no contest in Louisiana to now there are 5. Mm-hmm. And thanks to our initiative, Louisiana just had their first official traditional show style state recognized championship at Lake Charles. So that was amazing. With that being said, we've grown so much that now there's actual state championship recognized by the state, fully adjudicated, for Mississippi coming up this year. Wow. For the state of Mississippi. Georgia's about to be on the docket. We're working really hard here the next couple of days. I think Texas, we're right here at it for Texas coming up, for Texas UI as well. South Carolina just had their first one as well. So we're making a statement everywhere. And it's not to say that, hey, just like we're not monolithic, there are multiple arenas for where our kids can highlight what they do and be recognized for what they do. One of the big things I always say about the stat size is that, hey, I don't want my Mozart to sound like my Beethoven. I don't want my Charlie Parker to sound like my John Coltrane. So what I'm saying is it could be different and have still the same recognition. The problem I have with it is if you're coming with your own biases, you penalize students because you have not done your homework or you have not familiarized yourself with the subgenre we have under marching arts. It's not to poke the bear. It's just to say that, hey, we should be recognizing and rewarding these students for what they do. I catch everybody looking at them on YouTube. So when they put them on the field, why don't we catch it live and recognize it and give them recognition for what they do? So I'm just going to highlight that from the stat standpoint. Just win. Another big initiative under the Our Marching Counts is the Bridge Partnership that we did this past year with Blue Devils in our spring training in Wyoming. We brought band directors and students from Southern University, yay, Albany State University in Albany, Georgia. We had Dr. Kelvin Jones, who's a Jackson State graduate, and he's also was a former director of bands at LSU. We brought Dr. William Irvin, who's a Clark Atlanta grad, also a Con Selmer bigwig as well, who does a ton of stuff within the culture and marching arts as well. And then we brought Dr. Marcus Morris out as well, who's assistant band director at the University of Georgia. I still can't believe that. It's huge. So what we did, we brought them out to work with Blue Devils and see how we do our process, how we make the sausage per se. And their young members got a chance to get in and work with our members and see how we start the process. And what it is, that bridge is literally from the standpoint of when we get students together, they listen to the same music, they have the same mannerisms, they have the same habits and behaviors. It's just, they just maybe have some different physical attributes that are there. So it was kind of saying, hey, there's really not much of a gap. So we were like, let's just bridge one side to the other. And that's how we should be doing in music overall. And that's been a huge win for us. And this summer, we're going to do more of that in Hattiesburg at the DCI show and back in Atlanta again for the DCI Atlanta show. So just a lot of great stuff that's coming out that started from the March in Arts on the Our March and Counts. And it's just continued to grow, and sky's the limit.
Amazing. And I always like to hear you talk about it and even, chime in when we can, because Ricardo and I are both on the council for Our March and Counts.
Yes, we are.
So like when I tell you that this is relative, I really do mean that. We are cousins.
Come on.
I guess my invitation's in the mail. I'll wait.
Well,
see.
Since you put Ricardo on Front Street, you're the first person that's ever done that. So Ricardo has to invite you to that section of the card table at the cookout.
I will do that. I will do that.
Speaking of, because of course I'm hosting tonight. So Ricardo, let me kick it to you to talk about the cookout.
Well, friends, just so everybody knows, the cookout is returning to WGI in 2025. And this year it is going to be an actual cookout. We are partnering up with Jarid and Melanin Mosaic and some other community partners from around the Dayton area to truly make a fun, hangout, gathering where people can get together, fellowship, have a little bit of community. The details are going to be coming out soon, but I think I won't get in trouble too much with my boss, Nicole, if I say that it is going to be the Saturday of WGI, and it will be in between Open Class Finals and World Class Finals. Information for that will be popping up. You'll start seeing some posts on my page. You'll see stuff on Nicole's page, from the On a Water Break page, and everywhere else about getting your tickets to the Cookout 2025.
Yeah. I do want to go back and just let everyone know how that started. Just like Errick said back in, during lockdown, and everyone, you know what I mean? We all were in a way. Okay. There's just no way around it. We were all in a way. The first thing that happened, I remember Vincent Thomas reached out to me and he was just like, we're going to do a Zoom. It's called Lean In, Lean On, Lean With. I want you to do a testimony. I want you to talk to everyone. And so I did. And then once that happened and I saw everyone's faces, because I never knew anyone, and like, as much as I've known Ricardo and know of Ricardo, I never worked with him. But then I saw all these other faces too. It's just like, okay, I've worked with Vincent. And so the more that I saw all these faces around in our little Brady Bunch theme screen, I was like, how cool would that be if we could all get together? Now, at this moment, when that was happening, though, we weren't even thinking about that we could all get together. We didn't know what was going to happen after being all locked down and by ourselves. Everyone's emotions were on full alert. The first thing I did was just tried to put my thoughts together and be like, hey, how can I bring all of us together and do this thing? I was like, well, first of all, I know I can't do it alone. So then I reached out, and that's when I got Andre Williams on. And then I remember reaching out again, and other people were like, hey, I'll help out and I want to do this and whatnot. And I was like, hey, bring it on, because I will take all the help that I can get. And then we actually brought it to fruition, and we were in person at WGI 4 years ago.
Yeah, 3 years ago.
Yeah. And I mean, it's weird to have the thought in your head about this is what I would like to do for everyone. Okay. And like Errick, like you said, this is not to diminish anybody, but to lift everyone up. The cookout was not meant for just one kind of people to be there. The cookout was meant for all kinds of people to be there. And so I know that during that first year, that's when I met Jarid. And Jarid was like, I love this. This is awesome. And I was like, thank you. Thank you. And it wasn't about Nicole getting the accolades for that. I wanted to have all these people, all these Black and brown people with the white people and the Asian people coming together to be like, listen, look at how many of us there are. We don't even get to work together. like probably more of the other folks that don't look like us get to work with more of us. So, that's that whole reason why I was just like, okay, we need to see each other. We need to be around each other even more. And not to mention it was a networking thing. I got to meet so many other people that way. And then the second year came too, and I was just like, I appreciate everyone that came in and helped. And so I was just like, we need to have this as an actual cookout. We need to be outside with the music, with the people and all this other stuff. And after 2 years, it was a little bit too much for some of us to take on. And even the people I worked with, they were like, we're going to back off just a little bit. And then when we came back, I would say the biggest reason why we came back was because of Jarid, because Jarid said, what did you say to me, Jarid?
Melanin Mosaic is still new, fresh out in the market. So last year was our first time at WGI as an organization representing as, Melanin Mosaic. Nice little booth for the people. It was cute, culture, everything. But I wanted to do more for people connecting, networking wise. So seeing that Nicole, I did attend the first cookout and it was everything to me. I just felt right at home. So seeing it not happen last year was like, oh. But I always had the idea of having a get together, something with Melanin Mosaic. So when I approached Nicole, I was like, "Do you want to do like a cookout, but like outside?" And she was like, "Yes." I was like, "Okay, let's do that then." And we just started putting pieces together last summer, almost maybe last fall, and just piece by piece, brick by brick, we're building up our cookout to be something that resembles something that we know to be a cookout, which is family, fun, and friendship, and color guard at this point. And it became why are we always so into our own little bubble when there are so many people out there we can help and work with, especially myself as a marching arts enthusiast, love connecting the dots outside of the marching arts, and like collaborating, because you just never know what people have to bring to the marching arts unless you go out there and reach for them. So we reached some people, and we're so happy that P Flag Dayton was like, we are in. What do you need? We will help. They fully sponsored the location after like 6 months of trying to figure out what we're going to do. And they said, we got you. Signed the check. Here's the date. Here's the little time. Got you. And then we connected with the Miami Valley Meals, which provides food to those who are underserved communities in Dayton, Ohio. So we're just bringing Dayton, Ohio into what we do as a marching arts community, and showing them that, we're not just people inside of a gym doing flags and not caring about the communities we are actually taking over, running amok in two solid weeks. But it's like, hey, thank you for doing what you do in this community, because without you guys doing this stuff in the community, all our Black, brown, queer allies would not have a place to feel comfortable, because there's not all the places in the world, especially Ohio and the Midwest. They're not just places you can like, oh, we're going to go there and be happy and be safe and feel like we can walk around and be ourselves. And Dayton, Ohio, thankfully, is one of those places. So we're just giving back to the community that gives so much to us.
Yep. Now, I know that there are other groups and other initiatives that are actually going on. And honestly, I kind of want to open this up to any of the people that are going to be listening. I think this would probably be a good place to start sharing those initiatives. I will tell you that I did get information from a young woman today who does an organization that's called Simply Colorguard. I want to shout them out real quick. And this organization was founded by Courtney Coffee. And she gave me the blurb that says, finding information on ColorGuard shouldn't be difficult. Simply Colorguard is an online resource created to help you find information on how to navigate the pageantry arts quickly and easily. We want students and staff alike, no matter where you're located or your level of experience, to have access to world-class resources in order to be successful as possible. From our free industry blog, our ColorGuard directory, our online spin school membership, and more. We have everything you need to grow as a performer, instructor, director, or fan. Our goal is to ultimately have a transparency in the sport of the arts. After all, it is simply ColorGuard.
I have had the honor of talking to Courtney a number of times, especially following her journey on like TikTok and Instagram, and I love what she's doing. She's also an actress, and she's making it work out there in LA, and she's doing color guard, and her TikTok right now is blowing up, and I love it. And it's really cool to see people giving themselves information and knowledge where they can. That's really cool.
Very nice. Very nice. Y'all, we could kiki all day long. All day long. However, gotta pay some bills. So we will be right back.
Marching by Montes is a visual design business based out of Raleigh, North Carolina, but provides services to ensembles all across the country. Our services include custom drill and staging for marching bands, indoor winds, indoor percussion, and winter guards, as well as custom band and guard choreography for all 3 winter idioms and marching bands. We now offer program coordination for ensembles throughout the U.S. and custom graphic design for all of your uniform, props, flags, and floor needs. In-person and virtual program consultation options are now available through Marching by Montes, as well as custom sound design for your indoor winds backing tracks, Winter Guard soundtrack, and show soundscape needs. Visit us at marchingbymontes.com, contact us at joey@marchingbymontes.com, and check us out on social media at Marching by Montes.
Okay, everyone. So we are starting a new segment called the 60-second tech block. Each week, one of our guests or our guest clinicians will be forced to give a 60-second tech block session that will, with the section needing it the most after the run. Okay. So basically our special tech this week will have to choose from 3 topics that they think they can give a 60-second nonstop speech about and maybe help some people out there, let them know what they don't know. This week, it's going to be Mr. Errick Prince. Shower us with some knowledge, please, Brother Errick. The 3 topics that you have to choose from are 1, dancing on the 2 and the 4. Number 2, proper footwear for the time of season and purpose. And number 3, how close is too close when you are doing proper grooming? Okay, everyone, what topic do we want Errick to talk about?
I've known Errick for well over 10 years now. And so I know many things that he has given me 60-second or 60-minute tech blocks on. And I am definitely going to have to say, since we're all family here tonight, that I need Errick to talk about dancing on the 2 and the 4. Because this is a very serious topic and it needs to be addressed. And I feel like this is the forum that we can pull that out.
This is what this was made for.
This is exactly what this is made for.
Jared, you start that clock. Let's get it. Let's get it.
I'm with it. Let's go.
Show us the 60. Show us the 60.
All right, here we go. All right.
Here we go. And we go.
I can only be me, y'all. And this is per the culture and per the social media stuff. So that being said, we know in 4/4 time that the strong beats are 1 and 3. However, for the sake of rhythm and keeping unity for the sake of the culture and outside the culture, you cannot emphasize clapping on 1 and 3, and you cannot have your body be rigid on 1 and 3. The 1 and 3 are like the James Brown thing where you keep it there to keep the pulse going, but the 2 and 4 is to loosen up the hips, let those glutes be happy, and then get up in it. It's really okay. Look to your left and to your right. I'm all for everybody having their own thing, but you cannot function on your own time when it's like, hey, some folks may be dancing on 2 and 4, but they're just in a whole different realm. It's 15. Like, we need to stay in on it with us. And like I said, 1 and 3 are for the James Brown adage of it. But listen, loosen the shoulders up just a little bit.
5, 4,
and let
3.
it sink into your soul. I beg you, please.
60-second tech block.
Get it in your soul.
60 seconds.
I
am rolling right now.
Ooh.
Anything inaccurate in that, though, was all truth.
That was true. That was factual-based information. The research has been done.
Definitely did it.
It's
this was your peer-reviewed paper.
She right. All right. Well, I think that now this is a perfect time to talk about what are we doing?
What are we doing? What are we doing?
In this segment, when we talk about what are we doing, it's pretty much a, tongue-in-cheek, what grinds my gears about the marching arts. So, first person I'm going to with this is going to be Jarid.
Mr. Prince already told you he don't want to follow me. He already had said he
Don't
doesn't
worry.
want to follow me.
See, and this is where I switch it up. See, this is where I don't know. I switch it up. Go ahead.
Okay, being slightly serious, but a lot of serious. More women in the marching arts. Dead stop. But on a funner note, what are we doing not teaching performance before skills? Because I am tired of seeing little Mammy, Sammy, Hammy, Dammy, Rammy counting to themselves, looking like they lost chickens out there, not performing, and look at robots.
Oh my God. With shoulders for earrings.
It's
Shearings.
like, you on video now, girl. Like, I don't care if your first show. It's like
humble beginnings.
It could be world class. It ain't nothing humble about not performing your show.
Mm-hmm. I think, honestly, too, I will tell you this. That's one of the things I look and I'm like, performance quality. You can't teach that. You know what I mean? Like, there's a certain energy that comes with that with a certain kind of kid, and then you can build upon it. And then some of them, you just got to keep pushing it out of them. But yep.
Yes.
It's a performance art.
Thank you. And I think we're missing that part of it so much for cleanliness and scores and blah, 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 that people are clean up and down, great, but you look boring. And I go from lower generation class to world class. If you're not performing through your emotion, it doesn't give the ooh-ah sensation that your instructor was hoping for when they envisioned this in their head. They did not envision that. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
So keep pushing performance after or before the counts, because you can get a lot further performing. What did I say online? Toast look better with jam and jelly. You put something on there, people are like, oh, that's cute. Oh, you do the up and over, girl. Oh, yeah. Like she sold it. So start selling your products.
There you go.
Start selling your products.
I know that's right.
But yes, more women in marching arts. Dead stop.
Ricardo, what you got?
Okay, so I am exposing myself right now.
Ooh.
Not that way. But what are we doing about all these damn props? And I'm speaking to myself right now because this is for you listeners, I was just a few minutes late to our recording tonight because I have so many props in my Winter Guard show that it took my kids 30 minutes to get out of the gym tonight. I think it's time for us to calm down. I think it's time for us to dial it back just a little bit on the propage. I know we want to set the scene. I get it. But I'm pretty sure that all of your band parents will love you a whole lot more if you cut out all the damn props. And I'm really saying this out loud as a lecture to myself. So if anyone else needs to hear this, take this as your warning. Calm down on the props. Yeah. What are we doing with all these props?
What are we doing with all these props? All right. Errick, what are we doing?
All right. I'm going to poke the bear. Jarid hit it earlier. We've gone from a couple $100 to Mars to $1,000 to $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. Stop giving your money away. What do I mean by that? Study your craft in the winter. Learn your music, maximize your drill, make the staff earn the pennies that we literally get per day. It's very frustrating to have to drag someone through an entire production because you want to be told what to do instead of you owning what you do and challenging us. It is an equal relationship. I always encourage everybody, encourage me, force me to be a better instructor and teacher and adjudicator for you versus you just want to be spoon-fed everything because nobody's paying to see this old, aged-out head on the field. They're there to see you. So I'm saying maximize it. I don't have money to waste, so if I had to pay $6,000, you bet you're behind. Everything is going to be on point 24/7, not waiting around for August just to have a good time in Indy. That's what I got to say. That's where I stand on it. And I will always challenge you, because if I cut a check for my kid, you bet you're behind. He's going to be all over that music, all over that drill, all over that process, maximize everything. Don't throw no food away. Don't waste no peanut butter and jelly. Don't you put that cup over there. Get it all. And yes, Ricardo, I did say that. I'm good.
He said 10 toes down.
I just wanted to follow up to something I thought about today when you start looking at the Winter Guard schedule. We practice a very, very, very long time, up to 9 months at some places, to then have like 6, 7, 8 shows. When I practice like I performed, so that those reps I was getting at practice felt like actual shows to me. I didn't wait till we got to a show to start pretending I was at a show. So those reps that I was getting in were my money getting better to perform for the audience of a wall, and to picture myself in those arenas and having a great time and pushing myself to be the best that I could be at every single time, because you're paying for training. You're training. You are absolutely training. Just like these high school, colleges, and dance teams train, they get 1 show, 2 shows a year, but they're working as if they're putting on 16 shows a year. So that's one way to maximize your effort, is pretend and take it as if I get the opportunity to perform this show that I studied and practiced and trained on just for myself and the audience. And that's what we're going to do, and have a great time running this rep before I go home, because this is what I love doing.
And I'm going to jump in really quick. I got to say this, and he's on here, it's the truth. When Ricardo was a marching member at Spirit of Atlanta, and when he went to the Cavaliers, let me tell you something, commanded attention. I'm being honest.
I believe it.
I'm being honest. Commanded attention and was always on point, period. I mean, literally owning it. And he occupied his space and made the performers and the guard around him better in ownership. And I never saw him break. I just didn't. And I have a critical eye when it comes to the marching arts, especially drum corps. And I'm going to continue to give you your flowers. Just absolutely stellar. Thank you,
brother. Yeah, I actually did get in trouble for overperforming. Jeff Fiedler yelled at me one very, very hot day in Texas, and he was like, "Why are you smiling?" And I said, "I just really love being here."
Exactly. Especially people of color. We know that this is not our playground. So when we get in that bad boy, we take advantage of it. So yes, absolutely.
Great job, everyone. Set your equipment down. Gush and go.
All right, so our next section is Gush and Go. Now, this is where y'all can brag about anything you want to. It does not have to be marching arts related. It can be whatever's going on in your house, in your family, in your world. You do it. All right? And remember, I told you I was switching it up. So, Ricardo, what you gushing and going about?
Okay. I am going to gush and go about the fact that we are 2 weeks into Black History Month, and I have been recording this podcast with some of my favorite people on this earth. And last week was great. This week is even better. It's just so much fun to get to see all of my people and be in the room with you, and that all of our listeners get to listen to a Wednesday night phone call that we would all have anyway.
Very true. Very true. Let's see, Errick. What are we gushing and going about?
I'm going to unveil the initiative that we've been working on for the last several months, the DCI African American Alumni Corps. That's something that I'm proud of. We're going to launch that thing in 2027. Spirit of Atlanta has it this year. Phantom Regiment has it next year. In 2 weeks, we're going to submit the documentation to DCI. We got about 156 people already committed. So Friday night semis, be looking for a great time at Punch Bowl Social there in Indy to get more folks signed up. And this is going to be a great thing for DCI overall. So we can get out there and show off what we do, highlight and celebrate our pioneers and our heroes. Great time for us.
Jarid.
I have 2 quick gush and goes. One, Melanin Mosaic is a proud program now of the Warriors Alumni Drum Bugle Corps from New York City. Established in 1946 for the CMCC Warriors. They are an all-Black marching arts unit from New York City. Some of the best performers and drum corps do come out of New York City, so just make sure that the history is still always representing. I'm very, very proud of that, to continue that legacy of marching arts excellence in the Black community. And also, I want to give a quick shout out to Sean Zachary, the director of the Black Fox dance team at Prairie View A&M University, and the National HBCU Auxiliary and Dance Directors Association, which is a conference they produce, the 2025 National Conference in Atlanta, March 20th to 23rd, Atlanta Evergreen Lakeside Resort. I found this organization about 2-3 years ago because they were on TV. Honestly, the Prairie View were on TV, some station about marching arts and Black people. I was like, of course I'm watching it. And then it just followed on social media, and they do this wonderful thing where they bring together educators of the HBCUs, instructors, dance teams, color guards, and they have a whole conference that I didn't know it existed until it existed. And I'm always wondering, how can we get things like that in our communities of color soon? Maybe, hopefully, we'll see. But yeah, I think it's a great program, and they are really doing some great work in the marching arts, because I always feel that we have our side and they have their side, HBCUs, and them legacy drum lines and drum corps, the flag teams, 40 years deep, 50 years, 60, 100 years deep. And we're brand new to about, we doing flag over here. Like, yeah, okay. Y'all doing flag over here. They are doing flag over there. And everybody had their own style. And it's like, it's so cool to watch. And they're in football stadiums. You might see them at the halftime show for Beyonce with the flag line in the back with the Texas group. So the flag line and drum flag corps is coming hard for the HBCU community. So keep looking out for that.
I love to hear it. I'm going to jump in this one too and give a gush and go, mainly because, I mean, it does have a lot to do about like me and the cookout. And because I said earlier about how, you can get a little burnt out if you try too hard, but at the same time, there's literally all of you at one point in time has literally talked to me and give me enough energy to keep going. And so, like I said before, we do the most. And sometimes, yes, doing the most does make you tired. But when you can be supported by someone else who's doing the most too, you ain't tired no more. So, as long as I still have my brothers,
hey,
I got
you. It's called Gush and Go, not Gush and Stay. Let's go.
Yo, I just want to say thank you for a great rehearsal this week. And what a great way to celebrate Black History Month. So I do want to say thank you to our guest clinicians this week, and good luck with your seasons and your initiatives and everything that you're doing. Tell us where we can find you on socials, Jarid.
You can find Melanin Mosaic Performance Ensemble at Melanin Mosaic PE or at melaninmosaicpe.com. It's our full website. If you want to check out some of the cookout, it's melaninmosaicpe.com/cookout. And you'll find information about us and everything we're doing there.
All right. And Errick, where can we find you on socials?
Our Marching Counts is on Facebook. And then at the same time, the African American Alumni Corps group is also on Facebook as well. We'll be setting up some other initiatives there at the same time. And then for stats, those contests are going to be released for the fall 2025 on February 17th on that Monday. So you can go to usbands.org and look at the stats tab, and it'll tell you there. You can click on past one and see all the amazing adjudicators that we have. And we're adding 8 more on this year to the panels because we are growing. So we have 8 contests this year. So yeah, good times.
So happy to see it. All right. So just got a quick question or a topic that you want to email us about. You can email us at onawaterbreakpodcast@gmail.com, or you can find us on social media, DM us if you want to be on the show. We even have a form you can fill out now if you want to be a guest. We'd love having new people on the podcast. So check that link out in the bio of our social media. Or you could just take out your phone and record yourself and send it to us, and you might even be on the podcast soon. So either one you want to do, try it. One more thing, don't forget, we have a YouTube channel now that has many of our interviews. It's full editions. So go subscribe and you won't want to miss any of those. Also, before you close out of your podcast listening app, go subscribe, write us a review, and share it with a friend. Follow us on social media at On a Water Break, and we'll see you at the next rehearsal on a water break.
And go practice.
On a Water Break podcast was produced by Jeremy Williams and Christine Ream. The intro and outro music was produced by Josh Lyda. To learn more, visit lydamusic.com. And until next time, thanks for tuning in.